Okay, hello everyone. Let us start with the session and hope so. You just give me a second. Okay. Chaliye, let us start with the current affairs and hope so the last session, yani ki hope so the 2025 year was one of the best years of your life and 2026 will going to be one of the bestest years of the life and May 2026 brings a lot of success for you guys. Now, so obviously, calendars is also one of the part of your art and culture of UPSC. So according to Gregorian calendar, so it's not your basically not from your Hindu calendars like your Vikram Samvat and Sak Samvat. It is actually according to the Gregorian calendar. Today is the new year, but there are different calendars are there in the particularly system which we have to study. And India ke hisab se we follow Vikram Samvat. We don't follow that, but yes, we have calendars that is Vikram Samvat and Sak Samvat. And Sak Samvat is the official national calendar of the India. Vikram Samvat was founded by your Vikramaditya and Sak Samvat was founded by your Kanishka, who was from Kushana dynasty. So this is also one of the small overview about the basically calendars which is also one of the part of your UPSC syllabus art and culture, that is in calendars in India. So we are following Gregorian calendar, and according to the Gregorian calendar, this year ends and 2026, 1st of January from tomorrow it will going to be start. New year will going to be started, but according to the different calendars, years are different. That's why we celebrate a lot of diversities which are present in India. They celebrate New Year on different days, and New Year of every another particularly community in India is recognized on the different dates and with the different names. So this is also one of the beauty of our Indian culture. Chaliye. Now let us start with the current affairs, and one of the most important current affairs is also that is rare earth elements. We have discussed a lot of articles related to rare earth elements, and now again according to one of the reports, India is having the third largest reserves of rare earth element. Means we are not the producers, good number producers of rare earth elements, but we have reserves of rare earth elements in the country. Number one, obviously we know that which country is the having the highest reserves as well as the producer of rare earth element is your China, and the second is your Brazil reserve. Second highest number of reserves of rare earth element can be seen basically in your Brazil, and on the third number we have your India with the highest reserves of basically rare earth elements in the country, so matlab in the world. So that's why rare earth elements also become important, and we are working on the scheme for the promotion of rare earth element, that is REPM scheme, specifically the scheme dedicated for the promotion of your basically these rare earth elements. Chaliye, now let us start with the current affair. Yesterday we have left our news here. So what is the news? Just give me a second. Okay. So what is the news is lot of illegal sand minings. Obviously we know that it is one of the sand mafia. Very good morning beta. Sand mafias is one of the major concerns of the country, and because of these illegal sand minings and because of the sand mafia, the course of the river changes, and sometimes it leads to flood like situation in various regions and in various catchment areas of that river. So now again one of the river which was in news and Supreme Court has interfered in the matter is your, sorry, not Supreme Court, National Green Tribunal. National Green Tribunal recently dismissed an appeal challenging the cancellation of environmental clearance granted for sand mining in river Dhasan in Jhansi district. So from here the river becomes important from examination point of view. That is, what is the river, what is the course, which it is a tributary of which river, and what is actually the whole scenario about the river becomes important from examination point of view. So this is actually the river which is part of your Betwa river. So you can see, and Betwa river is also tributary of Yamuna river. So Yamuna se Betwa is coming out, and Betwa se your Dhasan river or Dhasna river is actually coming out. So this is, you can see, this is your Yamuna river. So this is the basically flow of Yamuna, and from Yamuna you can see here Betwa river is coming out. So this is the Betwa river, and we have also a Betwa interlinking project, Kane Betwa interlinking project, and this is the Betwa, and from Betwa here you can see one more river which is actually coming out, that is your Dhasan river, and this is the Kane, and we have a river interlinking project between your Betwa and Kane, that is Kane Betwa linking project. Why? Because this region is the Bundelkhand region, and majority of this region is suffering from the problem of water scarcity. That's why we are working on this interlinking project. So hope so you are clear about the geography of this river. That is the Dhasan river is a significant right bank tributary of Betwa river, and Betra river is also coming out of your basically Yamuna, and Betwa is also the right bank tributary of your basically Yamuna river. So Dhasan river is significant right bank tributary of Betwa river. Betwa river is a right bank tributary of basically Yamuna river, and from where majority of the students they are confused ki how we will decide which one is the left bank or right bank tributary. So always we see from the origin of the river. So from the origin of the river, which जैसे कि for example यहाँ से Yamuna is originating. So from here Yamuna is originating like this. So these rivers will be your right bank tributaries, and the river which are joining from this side from the Yamuna, those will be your left bank tributaries. So you can see from like I'm standing here, let's say I'm Yamuna, so you can see these are my right bank tributaries, and Betwa is the right bank tributary of this river. Then Dhasan is also joining from the right side of the Betwa, because Betwa now you can see this is also the scenario. So from here you can see these are the right bank tributaries of basically Betwa river that is present in the Bundelkhand region of basically your UP and some part of your MP. So that is what basically where your river has been originated. The river is part of, again I'm repeating the same thing, river is part of Betwa river, and Betwa river is also part of your Yamuna river, and this river, these regions are also famous for your Ghadiyals. Chambal, not this region, the Chambal river, which is also one of the tributary of basically Yamuna, is famous for a particularly species, that is your Ghadiyals. Ghadiyal is subspecies of your crocodiles. Now this is the particularly history, from where it is originating, what is the length, which of the following states or region is covered under this river flow. These becomes important because sometimes UPSC ask you question like this, but from last years they are not asking question exactly like this, but they ask you which of the following are the left bank tributaries or the right bank tributaries. Now they are not asking you, they are not giving you the characteristics of the river, or they are asking ki the above statement is talking about which river, but we should be prepared with everything. We never know what UPSC can throw towards us. So the river is originating from your Begumganj Tehsil of Raisen district of MP. So this is important. The river is originating, I am talking about the Dhasan river. It is originating from MP only. What is the total length? So on an average 364 kilometers with 240 kilometers in MP, 71 kilometers in UP, and 54 kilometers is in basically making the state boundary of both the state boundary between MP and UP. So this is the thing which you will see. So the total length is on an average 365 kilometers with 240 kilometers which is actually flowing in your MP, 71 kilometers in UP, and 54 kilometers is serving as a state boundary between two particularly state. So this is what, so where it is originating from, the Begumganj Tehsil of your where, that is MP. Now what is the course? So it is flowing northward from the Sagar district. Here you will see the Sagar district of MP, which is also one of the famous districts of MP, Madhya Pradesh, and then it forms a southern eastern boundary to Lalitpur district of Uttar Pradesh before joining the Betwa river near Barua Sagar. So UPSC can ask you, this river is joining your basically Betwa river where, at which location? That is your Barua Sagar. So Dhasan is joining Betwa near your Barua Sagar. So this is also one of the things UPSC can ask you. It is crossing through Sagar district then to Lalitpur. Lalitpur is also one of the least literate districts of UP. So that is also one of the concern of this particularly district of UP. But yes, these are the regions where you will see districts of MP and form the southeast the southeastern boundary with your Lalitpur district of your UP, and then it meet Betwa in your Barua Sagar. So this is the particularly geography. What is the ancient name of this river? So in ancient historical text it is actually known as Dasarna. Now we call it as Dashna, Dashan or Dhashan, but earlier it was known as Dasharna, and it's still considered as a holy river by local communities. So this is the important characteristics which you will see of this river. It originates from basically your Begamgarh district or of your basically MP, then Sagar district se hote hue it is going towards Lalitpur, and then Lalitpur to say it is actually joining to your Betwa in Barua Sagar, and in ancient text it is known as Dhasarna, and it is one of the holy river according to the local communities of MP and some parts of UP. So this is the characteristics of this river, that is your Dhasan river. Okay. So if UPSC asks you is this river has its relevance in the ancient time also, so answer is yes, it is equally present in the ancient India, and it was having its relevance in ancient India also. Now let us see some of the other facts which is related to this. Is there any dams made on this river? So answer is yes, there are two major dams which you will see on this river is your Lechura, that is known as Ghat Lachura Dam, which is located specifically in the Jhansi district, and it supports the Dhasan canal system which provide irrigation to region since 1910. Yani ki it has been constructed near 1910, and from 1910 it is actually very useful for the irrigation purpose in this region. So what is the name of the dam? Is your Lechura, Ghat Lechura Dam, and the another dam is Pahadi, that is Ban Sujara Dam, that is the another particularly dam which has been created on the Dhasan river for the irrigation purpose. Now UPSC can ask you, the Lechura and Pahadi, the recent dams seen in news, are present on which river? So that is your Dhasan river. I'm repeating the question again. Lechura and Pahadi, the dams which have been seen recently in news, they are present in which river? That is your Dhasan river, which is present in your MP and some parts of UP, and which is bordering between both the states. So this is what actually question can be asked, or they can ask you to match the following. They can give you the name of the dam and they can give you the name of the river, and they will ask you ki match the following, or which of the following is or are correctly matched. So please make sure you are working on such kind of basically current affairs and analyze MCQs like this. Try to create your own MCQs and try to solve them in the mind game, so that if UPSC asks you something like this, your mind is also prepared for some kind of questions chronology or some kind of questions also. So this is the concept. So Lechura and Pahadi, that is the two major dams which are made actually on the Hassan river, specifically for the irrigation purpose, to fulfill the need of the irrigation water which is required for irrigation. And one of the river linking project which we have obviously recently discussed, and I have dedicated 2 to 3 classes for this river linking project, current affair classes for this. So it's a Ken Betwa river linking project which will going to work, or which will going to support the region, that is Bundelkhand region, which is suffering from the problem of water scarcity. Lot of drought and water related scarcity related problem is present in this region of your India, that is your Bundelkhandi. That is the concept. Chaliye. Now, this is the first article which you will see. Now, let us switch to the second article. That is actually related to the change in the oil scenario of the country. Obviously, we have discussed about this yesterday, and I was discussing this in class also. Ki India oil market is shifting. India oil scenario is changing, and what are the reasons? Not only internal reasons, but there are also some of the external factors which has changed the Indian oil demography. So this is very important to understand how the shift is taking, which of the things which are responsible for this shift, because not only the domestic factors but also your international factors are there, which is actually which has brought this change or shift in the oil dependency of the India. Now, one thing is very important. Yes, majority of our basically majority of our oil needs has been fulfilled by your Middle East countries, in which you have UAE, Saudi Arab. This region are Iran. These are the countries which are one of the highest suppliers of oil and gases to the India. But demography is shifting. We also know that we don't have to depend specifically on a region or a country to fulfill our needs, because in future if there is any problem in this region, they can manipulate the prices of oil, and if they will going to manipulate the prices of oil, definitely it will going to affect my domestic economy. It will lead to inflation in my country. So that's why we are deviating our source of oil, and this is one of the change in demography of oil which you will see. You don't have to remember beta each and every river. You have to specifically focus on the rivers which are in news. And if let's say yesterday we have talked about Godavari, so you have to basically remember each river about Godavari, and we have tips and tricks also. In, let's say we have like on 2nd of January, the 1 hour class which I will take in the class, I will tell you some of the tips and tricks related to how to learn Brahmaputra tributaries, how to learn Ganga tributaries, how to learn Indus tributaries, and how to basically learn your these tributaries. We will focus on that in the class, not here beta Milana. Okay? So we have tips and tricks. You have to create your own tips and tricks. You have to remember specifically the rivers which are in news. Like the Dhasan river is in news, so you have to remember about the Dhasan river. Which of the following are the tributaries of Dhasan river? The Dhasan river is tributary of which river, and it is connected to which river. So all the particularly the Yamuna river system becomes important this year from this article. Are you getting my point? So this is also the way you learn. So the rivers which are in current affair, you have to learn those you have to learn. There is no any escape mode for that. Plus, if any national park is in news, you have to see ki if any river is passing by through that national river, or it is situated on national river. Jaise Brahmaputra river pe lot of national parks are there. So from there, if any national park is in news, there is a requirement that you should also learn about the river which is passing by that national park. So some of the rivers, at least 20 to 30 rivers you have to learn. There is no escape mode. Other than that, when you are aware of 20-30 rivers, then it is easy to basically eliminate in the main whenever you are giving the final prelims examination, your elimination things become strong. Because if any river you are sure it flows in UP and it is mentioned there it flows in basically Karnataka, so definitely you are very sure ki nahi, this is a UP river, so this particularly statement is not right. So that is also the kind of thing that later it will be helpful for us, but in short you have to learn on an average 25 to 30 rivers, and out of it specifically the rivers which are in news. Okay, so the oil demography is changing. Now let us see what is the information or what is the data is saying. So India's crude oil import basket has undergone a strategic transformation. Now what is the strategic transformation? We need to see here. West Asia dominance. So pre-2005, we were highly dependent on West Asia to fulfill our oil and gases needs. Now what was the data? India relied overwhelmingly on West Asia, with over 70% of the crude imports coming from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait and UAE. Yeah, beta elimination method will be used. So majorly pre-2005, now it was pre-2005 it was 70%, now also it is on an average 50 to 60%, but still we have reduced the dependency, and we have individually also tried to reduce the stuff. Jaise ki Saudi Arab and UAE ke saath we have also signed AI related agreements, so that only the oil is not major the thing between as a matter of trade between both the countries. So we have also shifted the particularly focus from only oil to other parts, for example science and tech, for example agriculture, for example your one more sector, tourism sector is also being focused in this region. So individually also, as a basket, we have shifted our focus from West Asia to the other part, and individually also we have signed different agreement, so that we can actually defocus, or we can distribute the market of between India and UAE, India and Saudi Arab, India and Kuwait in the different aspects, not only limited to your oil and gases. So this is the particularly thing. So first data, the evolution which you will see, that is related to the crude oil has been changed. Second, initial diversification phase 2005 to 15. Imports have been gradually expanded from Africa, because in Africa also we have Angola and Nigeria, one of the major oil players, and Under your South-South policy, that is the South-South cooperation, we are basically also promoting Africa and African countries, and we are also helping development of African countries under South-South cooperation. So South-South cooperation mein we all the your middle income and least developed countries, that is your South America, Africa and India, Southeast Asian countries, we have formed an organization, that is South-South cooperation. So under South-South cooperation also we have shifted our focus from your other part of country to Africa. Specifically in Africa, two countries are highly oil producing countries, that is Nigeria and Angola. So our particularly focus have been also shifted here, and obviously Iran sanctions and its impact. We have saw how your USA have put sanctions recently on Iran, and direct consequences of that we have faced, because Iran, first of all, he said that I will going to basically stop the Gulf which is present there near Iran, which is actually responsible for supply of 60 to 70% of the world oil, not only Indian oil but of the world oil, because of which it has impacted our economy. Second, because USA have time to time put sanctions on Iran, and Iran is one of the major country for us, not only to from the oil perspective, but we are using Iran to have trade with Afghanistan and Central Asian country. So because of those sanctions, it has been affected your Chabar port, which is one of the port India is having the authority, that was actually exempted from the sanctions which USA imposed on Iran. But USA and India are also, relations are also not good. Trade war is going on between both the countries. So because of that, USA said that I will going to cut out this exception which gives Chabar port as an exception of the sanctions which have imposed on Iran. Now India will also have to face the consequences of the sanctions, because now I am posing the sanctions also on Chabar port. Halaki it has not been implemented properly, but USA from Chabar port was exempted from the sanctions which has been posed on Iran, but USA have said that now I will not going to exempt the Chabar port from this sanctions also. So time to time, whatever the sanctions which has been imposed by USA on Iran is also one of the major threat for our shift. That's why we have shifted our oil basket from Iran to other part of the country. Then temporary Iran revival, this is the phase which we are discussing. Temporary Iran has recovered, but now again we can see the situation of Iran again because of the rivalry between Iran and Pakistan. Sorry, Iran and Pakistan, maybe there are conflicts which are going on from the Baluchistan side, but Iran and USA because of the conflict which is going on between them, again tariff war or sanctions war has been started between Iran and basically USA, because of which we are facing the consequences. Shift towards the America and Africa, then we have slowly shifted towards America, but America be now we can see what is the situation, because Russia is also one of the largest suppliers of shale gas and oil to us, and USA wants ki we should only supply and trade with oil with only America, not with Russia, but we took a very firm stand for basically Russia. Now Russia is one of the largest supplier of oil to us, because of which America is not happy with us, and America have started imposing tariff on us. So this is also the consequences which we are facing, because there was a time around 2017 and 21 we have shifted our oil base, we have slightly shifted to America for our to fulfill our oil and gases needs, but now again America is playing the games, because of which again we are facing the consequences of the world disorder which is changing. Now in the current scenario everything has been changed. Now what is the current position? Let us see. Russia, more than 35% of the total crude oil. Now India single largest supplier of the trade oils. As a West Asia, they are a basket. They are, yes, one of the major supplier of crude oil, but individually when we are talking about any XYZ country, then Russia is actually the largest supplier or the largest single supplier of crude oil to our country. तो मिडिल ईस्ट में देखेंगे ऑन एन एवरेज 40 to 45% साइंटिस्ट स्टिल अ कोर बट रिड्यूस शेयर कंपेयर टू द अर्लियर डिकेड्स विच वी हैव सॉ कि भैया येस वी हैव ट्राइड टू रिड्यूस आर पर्टिकुलरली फोकस फ्रॉम मिडिल ईस्ट टू द अदर पार्ट ऑफ द सेक्टर्स. रशिया इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल. Africa on an average 8 to 10%, and mainly the oil needs are fulfilled from two countries, that is your Nigeria and Angola. And the next thing which you will see, America on an average still 10 to 12% of the oil is coming from your USA, and not only USA, not only from the North America, but in this 10 to 12% may South America is also included, that is your Latin America part is also included in this 10 to 12% approx. So America 10 to 12 including the USA and Latin America also supplies in this 10 to 12%. So this is the scenario which you will see here of this current composition of Indian oil. So the current composition, Russia with the on an average 35% is the largest and the single largest supplier of India. Middle East में 40 to 45%. Still as a basket Middle East, we are highly dependent on them. But individually when we talk, Russia is one of the largest supplier or is the largest supplier. Africa on an average 8 to 10%. Nigeria and Angola specifically are the major countries from which we are taking these oil and gases are. And America, that is 10 to 12%, and not only the South America, but also not only the North America, but also the South America. Now, what are the drivers bit behind these shift? This is very important, and this is the mains perspective. They can ask you such type of questions in your mains examination. Ki what is the actual scenario of this? What are the key drivers which has led to this shift? So number one, geopolitical adaptation. Obviously, the sanctions war, tariff war, the war between Russia and USA has impacted us. The matlab not direct war between Russia and USA, but the war was actually between your Russia and Ukraine was supported by your NATO countries, and NATO's head was your USA. And obviously that indirectly becomes Russia versus USA, and jiski wajah se lot of economical losses has been done. So because of the clash between Russia and USA, we are facing the consequences. Because of the clash between Iran and USA, we are facing the consequences. And because of these reasons, when we supported the country which was not actually in favor of USA, now USA have also imposed a direct tariff on us. So this is the geopolitical tensions because of which we have faced these kind of shift. Yeah, we have changed these kind of oil gas basket. So sanctions on Iran and Russia reshape the sourcing pattern, compelling India to balance diplomacy with uninterrupted energy access. Now, one of the examples of diplomacy, recently India has initiated a package of $450 million for Sri Lanka. Why? Because Sri Lanka was hit by which cyclone? That is cyclone Ditwa. So cyclone Ditwa se lot of people have lost their life and livelihood in basically Sri Lanka. So India has again initiated a package of $450 million for the people of Sri Lanka for operation for cyclone Ditwa. So cyclone Ditwa becomes important from this year examination perspective. You have to work on basically what is cyclone, what is hurricane, where it has came in this region. Abhi to Milana, there is no such plan, but in future, like around February or March, we are planning to give you a crux PDFs only for the students who are part of the your IAS Origin. They will be provided with the crux of some of the material. Crux will be provided to you guys. Okay, beta? So this is the first thing. Second is your economic rationality. So Russian crude oil is as compared to the other oil, it is still pocket friendly for India as compared to the other oils which are present, specifically the USA oil. So this is also one of the reason by which we have said that your oils are costly, and according to that, yeah, Russian oil is actually still affordable for us. So that's why we are shifting towards Russia. This is also one of the thing which has disbalanced the whole scenario. Then we have refinery compatibility. Just give me a second. So, Indian refineries, they are not technically that suited for the refining process. That is also one of the reasons why we have shifted this culture. And then energy security resilience. Because we want to reduce the dependency on the Middle East, because majority of our oil and gases, that is more than 70% was fulfilled by Middle East countries. And Middle East countries nowadays they are very dicey. They are supporting USA, and then sometimes they are supporting Russia. Now some of them, they started favoring Pakistan. So because of the instability also, the political instability in West Asia, we have also defocused the particularly oil related matters from this region to the other part, because we don't want time to time, because of the direct clashes between India and Pakistan, our relationship with West Asia will going to effect. That's why we have shifted our focus from West Asia to the other parts as well. So there are a lot of internal security, internal matters, external matters factors which are also responsible for it, but majorly these are the reasons which have shifted, which has forced us to shift this particularly oil basket from one region to the different parts of the country. So these are the reasons of the shifting of the oil basket from one particularly area to the other. Now let us see the next article. These are the village defense system. Now Indian Army Sabre Brigade conducted an intensive training program for village defense guards in Jammu and Kashmir. Now this is not a new concept. Okay? Same kind of these village defense, but they are actually training the local villages of Jammu to participate basically in counter terrorism actions. Okay? The same kind of action was also started in your Chhattisgarh Jharkhand belt to counter the problem of Naxalism. So what they did, they recruited the local villages people and these militants and these military people. They have trained them how to use weapons, how to basically fight with the Naxals and what should be the war tactics and whatever should be the scenario. Everything was actually done. But when on the ground reality we have saw the picture, many of these villagers, they have lost their life because these Naxals were trained by the various external forces also, like China was also involved in the training of these Naxals. And here our people, the militants are properly trained, the military people are properly trained. So these villagers were not that effectively trained, and even at that time we were not having that much strong weapons to fight. So because of which lot of these normal people, they have lost their life, and Supreme Court interfered and they said that this is not effective plan. Lot of these people, they are actually lost. We have loss of life of these people, these innocent people. So just immediately stop this particularly training program. So that initiative has been stopped then and there around 2005-2006 ke aspas. Now again and this is not a new initiative in Jammu and Kashmir. Locally we are training. Earlier there was a plan which was going on for the village defense system. Now again they have revived this plan, and again they are training the people of Jammu from a newer particularly weapons and from a newer techniques and technology, that is to counter the problem of terrorism in this region. So village defense guards are armed civilian defense groups constituted in vulnerable areas of Jammu and Kashmir to assist security forces in counter-terrorism, village protection and intelligence gathering. So initially it was launched in 2022 by Union Ministry of Home Affairs, because Home Affairs is responsible for the internal security matters, look after the internal security issues. So it was launched in March 2022 by basically Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the village defense guards, and it was replaced the earlier system that was known as village defense committees, which was initiated in 1995. So it is not a new law. If UPSC asks you, the village defense guard is the new law which has been initiated by Ministry of Home Affairs recently. Answer is no, because it has replaced the earlier committee or law which was present, that is your village defense committee 1995. So this is, yes, it is an advanced version of a law, but it is not a new law. So if any these kind of statements are asked, please don't get confused, because it has replaced and restructured the earlier village defense committee, particularly which was present there in 1995 or which was initiated in 1995. Now what is the aim? Aim is to provide local people with immense training and immense defense, particularly technologies and training, so that they can fight with the military to these threats, act as a force multiplier. Because recently there is a concept of territorial army. Territorial army are the people who are present in the Indian army, but they are actually working in the army for as a part-timer. If you want to become part of territorial army, then it is required that say if I want to become a part of territorial army, then I should continue with my this job, but for 2 months I have to go and serve in the army. So it is mandatory that you should have a job other than the military territorial army if you want to become part of the territorial army of basically army, matlab of the defense services. So in the warlike situation, they were asking these territorial army people to come and serve for the 2 months. And same, they are the territorial army's kind of a multiplier. But this is different from the territorial army. Concept is same, but it is different because this is also the way we want to multiply our forces in the border areas. And in territorial army also, the forces are multiplying in the warlike situation, or once in a year they have to serve in the army. But locally, you should be part of any job. Matlab individually, you should be any professional other than military. Then for 2 months, you have to come and work for the army as a territorial army. Same like that concept, we are working we are training local villages to multiply the forces of army so that we can fight with a more effective manner in the areas. So it acts as a force multiplier for the police and armed forces remote in the border villages, and to enhance the community participation in the internal security. So this is the aim of this initiative. Central Armed Police Forces, the police force, the military, everyone is involved in the training of these village people under this village defense program. Now, what are the key features of this initiative? Let us see. Mainly ex-servicemen and the trained civilians. So ex-servicemen and the trained civilians are the one who has been identified as part of this. So mainly ex-servicemen and the trained civilians identify at the panchayat level. Group strength up to 15 members. So this is the first and important feature which you will see. Trained by CRPF and army equipped with self-loading rifles instead of older 3.3 rifles. Yani ki newer version of rifles have also been given to these people. Earlier we were using your 3.3 older 3.3 rifles, but now we have shifted. Now we are using your self-loaded rifles. Yani ki they don't have to load the guns again. It will be automatically loaded. Yani ki self-loaded machines which we are using, rifles which we are using. Function under district SSP and SP, ensuring integration with the formal security grid. So these objectives can become technical statement based question for UPSC, that only CRPF is involved in the training of the individuals. No, it's CRPF and military which is involved. Now the new particularly self-load rifles has been given to the village people. Functions under district SSP or SP. This is also one of the important factor. They can ask you, they can ask you, it functions under the Ministry of Home Affairs directly without any intermediator. So this is the statement will become wrong because they are functioning under the district SSP or SP. The highest authority is Ministry of Home Affairs, but here they are functioning under district SSP and SP. Then they will going to also receive some of the amount. So the group head receive 4,500 per month. Member will going to receive 4,000 per month. Unlike earlier, VDS were only SPOs, that is special police officers, were paid. Yani ki it is not a free job. If you are actually part of these services, then the head of these particularly community, the head of these group will going to get 4,500, that is 4,500, and the other members will get 4,000. So this is also very important. This is not a free of cost services which they are asking people to do of Jammu. Next, conduct day-night patrols, protect villages, religious places, public infrastructure, assist in search and cordon operations. So normally, like normal militants, they will going to work on the patrolling also. They will also going to protect the public infrastructure, temples in their own regions. So this is what actually the key features of the village defense people, which you will see, the village defense guards, which government is basically training. Now, this is also one more very important article which you will see, that is related to INSV Kaudinya. Recently, this INSV Kaudinya is one of the very important particular initiative which we have taken, not only from your maritime purpose, but it is equally important from IR perspective and history as well. So, you just have to understand how it can be linked with the different concepts and subjects. First of all, INSV Kaudinya jo hai, it has been launched from Porbandar to Muscat, Oman. So it is part of your India-Oman international relation. So just to improve our relationship, this particularly ship has been taken. Exactly Kaudinya looks like this only. So this particularly small boat, or you can say small ship, has been sailed from Gujarat Porbandar to Muscat, Oman. So this is from here, the important part. Second, what are the features of this Cordinia? Now the features say the third thing which is important. We are using the ancient technology of this boat making. Yani ki the joints of this boats is not made from nails. Yani ki we have not connected it by with the nails. We have actually stick those particularly blocks of the wood while using the ancient technology which was present, or which was shown in the any of the diagrams which were present in the Ajanta paintings. समझे? So India Oman, that is the one angle of this. INS Cordinia, that is the different. What are the features? Features may we are using the ancient technology of shipbuilding, which was also seen in the Ajanta painting. So Ajanta painting becomes important, and the person on which Cordinia, this name has been kept, actually he is believed one of the most important individual, one of the most important Brahmin maritimer which was present near 1st century, who was responsible for setting up Khem dynasty, or some of the dynasties of your Southeast Asian country, and various temples of his are currently present in your Southeast Asian country. So from one article we have connected 2 to 3 subjects and 2 to 3 aspects. That means he was somewhere also related to South Indian dynasties which were present in India at that time. So this is how we have to link one thing with another, particularly parts. So Prime Minister has lauded INSV Kaudinya as it embarks on its maiden voyage from Porbandar to Muscat, symbolically retracing the India ancient maritime route. And we are also using the Indian ancient maritime route just to denote ki haan, earlier the relationships was like this, and this was the way how we used to trade with each other. Now, let us see fatafat the article. INSV Kaudinya is an Indian naval sailing vessel recreated on the basis of 5th century ship depicted in Ajanta cave painting, representing the Indian ancient ocean traditions. So this particularly ship has been made on the particularly painting which was depicted in 5th century, that is in Ajanta cave painting mein. Some these features have been there, that's why from that technology we have built this ship. Now it has been built by Indian Navy in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture. So you can see the sun symbol and the 2 kind of bird symbol. This is also the symbol which is representing the culture of both the countries of India and Oman. Second, what are the features of this ship? So wooden planks are stitched together instead of being nailed. Yani ki हथौड़े से मार के कील के थ्रू दे हैव नॉट बीन जॉइंट, दे हैव बीन स्टिच्ड टुगेदर, यानी सिला है और स्टिक किया है टुगेदर बाय यूजिंग द एंशिएंट बोट मेकिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. सो दिस इज द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलरली शिप, दैट wooden planks are stitched together instead of being nailed. Number 2, coconut coir rope has been used. So coconut coir rope, natural resins and wooden plank, avoiding any modern metal things have been avoided in making of this particularly ship which has been recently made. So no, without use of any modern technology, this thing has been present in the system. Coconut coir plus copper ka bhi we have saw ki recently copper was also in news. Copper industry is growing. We have changed the MSP of copper, that is the part of your coconut. And coir industry also we are growing. Specifically we are helping your Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Islands to growing in this coir industry and the southern states. So coconut also becomes important. Coconut coir rope. So we have used coconut coir rope, natural resins, wooden planks, and avoiding any kind of modern metal. Sails has been carried from Gandaberunda and sun motifs which feature your Simhayali, the dock holds of Harappan style stone architecture or anchor. And the anchors which has been used here, it denotes basically the Harappan style anchors. ठीक है, so we have mixed the history in basically, and we have tried to show ki how these trades were done earlier. So it's such a blend and such a good blend of all the historical aspects which you will see. Now it has been designed and tested properly ki it will going to be navigate in this particularly extreme Indian oceans. Plus it has been named after the Kaudinya. Now who was Kaudinya becomes important from here. So, named after the Kaudinya, the legendary Indian mariner associated with early time links with your Southeast Asian empires. Now, let us see some of the features related to this Kaudinya. Just give me a second and we'll resume. Okay, now he was Kaudinya. This is the particularly painting of Kaudinya which can be seen in your Southeast Asian dynasties. So Kaudinya was believed to be an Indian Brahmin and he was also mariner. So Indian Brahmin mariner, he actually sailed towards Southeast Asia and he also believed to be the co-founder of one of the dynasties of Southeast Asia, that is your Funan. Okay? Funan. So Kaudinya Aka Prithong, so he was also known as Prithong in Southeast Asia, as a legendary Indian Brahmin prince, co-founded the ancient kingdom of Funan, which is the part of the present-day Cambodia and parts of Vietnam, after marrying the Naga princess. Okay, so he married the Naga princess Soma, probably during the 1st century. So he was the Indian Brahmin mariner who actually believed that he traveled around 1st century from India to Southeast Asia, and he has believed he has married to one of the Naga princess Soma, and he believed that he is one of the co-founders of your Funan dynasty, which is nowadays current day present in Cambodia and some parts of Vietnam. So this is the history which is related to your this Kaudinya, and on his name this ship has been recently named, that is INS Kaudinya. Now, he has marked as a fusion, and he's also the person who is known that he was one of the first person who was responsible for Indianization. Yani ki he mixed Indian culture with the Southeast Asian culture. So he was one of the particularly individuals who was believed in the 1st century around responsible for making the fusion of Indian and Southeast Asian culture. So marked the profound fusion between local traditional and Indian influences, laying the foundation of Khmer civilization and cultural identity. So from here, because of this Indianization, it is believed that the Khmer civilization has been established in your Southeast Asia. So this is the particularly things. Now let us see what are the events related to it. It is believed that he has sailed near about your Mekong Delta. Yani ki he has also visited to some part of the China as well at that time in the 1st century. So he sailed the Mekong Delta, married to Naga princess Soma. What is the significance? He was responsible for Indianization. He introduced Indian governance, Hinduism, Sanskrit, blend with your Naga, indigenous Naga people, with their water and earth belief. That means he was responsible for Indianization of the Southeast Asian culture. Some of the myths there are present. Myths are also associated with him, that he was actually responsible for various things which were present in Southeast Asian right now, like myth represent union of foreign Kaudinya and local Soma personified as a Prithong and Nyagnik in the Khmer lore. Yani ki they believe that ye dono ka pyar hua and there was something, or different stories and folk stories are also associated with this. We don't need to go in this detail. These things are important for us from examination perspective. Now, Funan was also one of the maritime trade hub between India and China that supported the Chinese archaeological finds. So he was one of the co-founders of Funan dynasty, and Funan dynasty was one. At that time, we were having a trade with Funan dynasty and India because of this Kaudinya Brahmin maritimer. So this is also the history somewhere denotes things about him. So hope so thing is clear about the individual, that is Kaudinya. Now, ancient Indian shipbuilding techniques. So how they were stitched, what is the technique used for that? So the stitch ship technique is the Indian method of shipbuilding in which wooden planks are stitched together while using different kind of natural resins and fiber, and was once very common in your basically Indian coastline and Indian Ocean. It is believed that the same kind of this kind of same boat stitching pattern was also used in Chola Cherya Pandya's time pe. So that's why it is believed that one of the ancient and most effective kind of stitching ship technique which was used by majorly the people who were present in your ancient times in the coastal areas who were trading with a different world. So This was actually the thing. Now, what are the features of this particularly technique which we are using? Planks are tied with a coir rope, allowing a flexibility and strength. Second, natural resins and fiber are induced so that it will going to improve the durability. For the flexible joints, so that damage is removed, so that damage is not done by the wave, we are using these resins and ropes so that it will be flexible, and because of which the damage will be very minimal. So this is the concept. Then it enabled Indian sailors to your West Asia. Earlier time it was used to sail from India to West Asia, Africa, Southeast Asia, and this technology now we are using so that we can revive the history. And just imagine, this was the technique of Southeast India, matlab South India, and this particularly technology was used majorly to trade with your Southeast Asian country, and earlier time it was used by the sailors to go to West Asia and your African countries. And today we are using the same technology which was mentioned, which was seen in the 5th century Ajanta cave, and which was also used in Indus Valley civilization. So we are using this same technology to again revive the cultural aspect and the sailing aspect with your Oman, that is India and Oman, by keeping the name of the king, one of the Indian king or the prince, that is Kaudinya, who was responsible for having a good trade with the Southeast Asian country in 1st century. So how these things are interlinked with each other. Culture is there, art and culture is there, history is there, geography is there, plus international relation is there, and security is also there. So from one article we can see lot of interesting things. Plus Vietnam and Cambodia also in news, because they are fighting, and there is a conflict, political instability also going on. Then the Pre Thong temple, he is known as Pre. There is a Pre temple also there, which was believed that constructed by Indian ruler. So that also becomes important from examination perspective. So you can link that with current affair, art and culture, the particularly historical aspects of your Vietnam, Cambodia also. Thailand and Cambodia also, not Vietnam, Thailand and Cambodia. So this also becomes important from examination perspective. Now, let us see the next article, patent applications. India crossed a historic milestone in financial year 24 and 25, with the patent application exceeding 1 lakh this time in the year. Just give me a second. Sorry. So this is the particularly news. Now let us see. Patents on an average 23 it was on an average 82,000 of basically applications. 23-24 92, and in 24-25 it is more than 1 lakh, which you will see here. So the files have been filed. Then designing में 22, then 30, and now 43,000 approx. You can see trademark में 4 lakh plus, 4 lakh plus, मतलब 4 lakh 70 plus. Now you can see 5 lakh 50 plus kind of applications. You can see GI 211, 134, and then you will see 275. Copyrights 29,000 plus, 36,000 plus, and now in 24-25 it is more than 44,000. Then SIC LDR में 8, 2 and 6, and total you can see more than 7 lakh applicants, 7 lakh 40,000 approx applicants have been seen related to these particularly IPR things in the country, and the data has been increased or at a very good scale. So now we have to see what is the data is talking about. So patent filing, over 1.1 lakh patent applications filed in financial year 25, up to 92,000 which was there in 2024. Domestic filings mein 62% of the total patents filing has been increased. Overall IPR growth mein if we see 18% have been increased from in financial year 2024 it was 6.3 lakh, and this year it is 7.4 lakh. The increase you can see. Designing registration jumped from 41.5% to 40, that is approx 43,000, that which was actually earlier it was not that good. And the trademark and GIs, maybe we have saw a number of increase from 134 to 275, and recently lot of products have been given GI tag, and we have discussed on an average almost all of the GI tags which has been given recently. And we have also discussed about the GI tags which has been traded with the other country, जैसे कि Indi Lime, which has been the first shipment has been exported to where, that is basically your Oman. Okay, what are the drivers behind this amendment? So, with this increase, so first of all, patent laws has been made easy. Amendment has been done so that things become easy for the people if they want to trade with the another country in their particularly things. So the Patent Amendment Rule 2024 streamlined prosecution timelines, reduce compliance as friction, and improve the ease of doing filing. Because of this, lot of patent applications and patents has been increased in the country. Plus one more thing which we have focused on, we have focused more and more on research and development and innovations, and providing a lot of money to these kind of startups and stand-ups in the country. So, startups, not stand-ups, startups in the country, lot of initiatives has been taken to promote these startups in the country. Because of this, new products has been created in the country, and obviously people have go for this IPR rights filing. So this is also one of the thing that we have increased the paisa on R&D and innovation. That is also one of the major reasons why this IPR is growing in the country. So, AI enabled tools like trademark search technology, IP searchlight chatbots, enhance examination speed, accuracy, and 24/7 stakeholder support. So, in short, governance system has also been improved related to the government and the other particularly things which are associated with this IPR and IPR related things. So, this is also the particularly use of technology, and good governance is also one of the examples for this drivers behind this increase. Then expansion of the startups, which we have already discussed, because a lot of startups and R&D is working there. Lot of initiatives are there for the MSME sectors and the IT sectors and the space sector. This is also the reason. And another particularly reason, growth of electronical, pharmaceuticals, EV, consumer rights. So lot of these products have also been increased in the country, because of which you can see the expansion in this IPR rights. Now what is the significance? Obviously, first of all, it will going to fulfill the target of India, that is of Viksit Bharat 2047. So whatever the target we want to achieve by 2047, definitely it will going to help us to achieve that target. Plus we are working towards Made in India, that is in Atmanirbhar Bharat also. It will also going to fulfill the goal of India's Atmanirbhar Bharat in every sector, because we have set a target ki by this year we will going to achieve the target of Atmanirbhar in this sector, Y sector, Z sector. So it will help India to achieve this Atmanirbhar Bharat thing in almost every sector which we have filed, which we have targeted. So 62% of the patent filings by the domestic applicants, India is reducing dependence on foreign technologies and strengthening the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Yani the products which we were exporting from the world, now what we are doing, we are making in our country at a cheaper prices and a good qualitative manner. ऐसा बोला जा रहा है. So because of which the less dependency on the foreign goods, foreign imports, because of which we are investing that money in more and more R&D and startups in the country, because of which we are becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is according to the data, and this is the significance of this IPR increase. Then India patent filing grew 20% this year. ठीक है, year on year are above the global average growth rate, improving its position in the global innovation and ranking and investment perception. Plus investors, by seeing this scenario, investors are now also agreeing to participate or to basically invest in the country. Then rise in different kind of designs and patterns in our own country. And you must have saw the news recently, whatever the missiles and technology we are creating, we are mentioning there ki 80% indigenous, 75% indigenous. Yani ki the newer technologies, the missiles which we are creating, that is created by 70 to 80% of their composition, their manufacturing, their joining, everything has been done by the Indian and Indian companies and Indian based products. Some of the crucial technologies which we are still dependent on other countries, but now we have started the indigenization, yani ki majority of the things which we are constructing are made in our country, and in few years you will see it will be 100% made in India. Now GI filing also doubled, which strengthen the indigenous product. So the rural and the cultural market is also growing, because majority of the GI tags are given to the product which actually are very rare art, which is actually eloping from the countries, eloping from that region, and there are several limited group of people who are protecting that art. So when we are protecting that art, we are improving its market. So those section of people are growing, that the village is getting benefit from that particularly protection or giving the GI tag, because sometimes whole village is involved in the protection of such such kind of products and products. So GI tag also helping us to basically boost the market of that particularly product nationally and internationally. This is also one of the significance which you will see. And India hosts 1.2 lakh plus startups and 1000 incubators and rising patenting things. Yani ki we are growing. Data is growing, startups are growing, investment is growing, research and development is growing, because of which a lot of development is taking place in and around us. And this is the reason why this particularly thing is growing in the country. Okay, so that's all for today. We have discussed some of the important articles. I will share this file with the students who are actually part of our IAS Origin. So it's a compilation of 30 and 31st of December. Go through these articles, and another articles you will get in the monthly, in the weekly magazine. So that's all for today. We'll meet again on 2nd of January, because tomorrow we have off of the new year. And I hope a very good and happy life to all the people, and happy new year to everyone. May this new year brings a lot of success, and basically your paper get clear this year.